Hi friends, I'm Megan, and this is Jessie.
And this is Ruby.
Hello, Ruby. I'm glad you could join us for today's Bible story.
I thought Ruby would enjoy hearing today's Bible story about Jonah getting swallowed up by one of her ancestors.
That is a great idea, Jessie, but did you know the story of Jonah is not mostly about Jonah getting swallowed by a big fish?
It's not? But there's a picture of the big fish on the front of my Bible story book about Jonah. Are you sure, Megan?
I'm sure, Jessie. The book of Jonah in the Bible is mostly about God showing mercy to people who do not deserve it. Let me tell you the story. Listen for who God showed mercy to. Jonah was a prophet. One day, God told Jonah, "Go to Nineveh. Tell the people there to stop doing wrong things." The people in Nineveh were very mean. So Jonah did not go to Nineveh like God told him to do. Instead, he got on a boat to go far away. God sent a storm. The sailors on the boat asked Jonah, "Who are you? Where did you come from?" Jonah said, "I worship the one true God who made everything." Jonah told the sailors to throw him into the sea. The sailors picked up Jonah and threw him into the sea, and the storm stopped. From that moment on, the sailors worshiped the one true God. God sent a big fish to swallow Jonah. Jonah was in the fish's belly for 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prayed and thanked God for sending the fish. Then the fish vomited Jonah onto dry land. God said, "Jonah, go to Nineveh. Tell the people my message." This time, Jonah went to Nineveh. He walked into the city and shouted, "In 40 days, God will destroy Nineveh." The people in Nineveh listened. They stopped doing wrong things and showed God that they were sorry. God decided not to destroy Nineveh. Jonah was so mad. "I knew you would do this," Jonah said to God. "You are gracious. You do not give people what they deserve. You are slow to get angry, and you love people." "Is it right for you to be mad?" God asked Jonah. Jonah went outside the city to watch what God would do. Then God taught Jonah a lesson. First, God made a plant to shade Jonah from the sun. Then, God sent a worm. The worm ate the plant, and the plant died. Then God sent wind. Jonah was so hot he almost fainted. He was not happy. God asked, "Are you mad that the plant died?" "Yes," said Jonah. God said, "You cared about the plant, but you did not take care of it or make it grow. The city of Nineveh has many people. I made them and I care about them. There are many animals too. Aren't people and animals more important than a plant?" God told Jonah to go to his enemies and tell them to stop sinning. Jonah did not want to go. Later, God sent his own son Jesus to go to his enemies and tell them to stop sinning. Unlike Jonah, Jesus wanted to obey God. He died on the cross to save us from sin.
God told the prophet Jonah, "Go to the great city of Nineveh. Tell them to stop doing evil things." But Jonah did not want to go to Nineveh. The people of Nineveh were enemies of God's people, so Jonah got on a boat heading the other way. God sent a terrible storm. The sailors cast lots to figure out who caused this trouble. The lot fell on Jonah. The sailors asked Jonah, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Jonah replied, "I worship the one true God who made everything." Jonah told them to throw him into the sea. When they did, the storm stopped. From that moment on, the sailors worshiped the one true God. God sent a big fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prayed and thanked God for sending the fish to save him. Then the fish vomited Jonah onto dry land. God told Jonah, "Go to Nineveh and preach my message." So Jonah went. He walked into the city shouting God's message. In 40 days, Nineveh will be destroyed. The people turned from their evil ways. Even the king repented. God decided not to destroy Nineveh. Jonah was so mad. "I knew it," he said. "You are a gracious God. You show mercy to people. You are slow to anger, and you are loving. I knew you would decide not to destroy Nineveh." "Is it right for you to be angry?" God asked. Jonah made a shelter outside the city and waited to see what God would do. God taught Jonah a lesson. First, God provided a plant to shade Jonah from the sun. But the next day, God sent a worm. The worm attacked the plant, and the plant died. Then, God sent a dry east wind. Jonah was so hot he almost fainted. God asked Jonah, "Is it right for you to be angry about the plant?" "Yes," Jonah said. "I'm so angry I could die." God said, "You cared about the plant, but you did not take care of it or make it grow. It only lasted 1 day." Nineveh is a big city with thousands of people. I created them and care about them. Aren't they and the animals in the city more important than a plant? God called Jonah to go to his enemies and call them to turn away from their sin. But Jonah refused. Instead, he ran away. Later, God sent Jesus to his enemies to call us to repentance. Jesus willingly obeyed. Jesus died on the cross to rescue us from sin.
Through you, I can do anything. I can do all things, 'cause it's you who gives me strength. Nothing is impossible. Through you, blind eyes are open, strongholds are broken. I am living by faith. Nothing is impossible. Yeah.
month, we'll learn about the Oakwood Deaf Community Church and how they minister to the needs of the deaf community in Cleveland, Ohio. Today, there are approximately 600,000 people in the deaf community living in the United States. Out of these, 1 in every 4 people have never been introduced to the gospel of Jesus Christ. The ministers at the Oakwood Deaf Community Church believe it is important to recognize that the deaf have their own unique culture and needs. They believe the most effective way to reach the deaf is through church planting in deaf communities and creating a network of satellite churches for the deaf. Using this approach, they hope a deaf community of believers will take responsibility in sharing the gospel with others and training other deaf believers to share their faith. In a deaf church, the people enjoy singing by using sign language. They can feel the vibrations of the music even if they can't hear the sounds. Many deaf people have hearing friends, spouses, or children who join them at church. Voice interpreters also serve in the church for the hearing people who do not know sign language. A voice interpreter understands the sign language and uses spoken word to communicate what is being signed by the pastor or worship leader.